Well, Jane Townson is Chief Executive of the Homecare Association. It's a body that represents home care providers. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So your members who are going in to look after people in their homes, what sort of problems are they coming across?
Some are able to fill up, but others are struggling because forecourts are closed. They're in long traffic jams. One member wrote to us this morning to say they have 3 pool cars and 7 cars belonging to members of staff. Not one single one of them has got fuel in it. So they're having emergency meetings to discuss how they're going to get care to the people that they support.
Have you been talking to the government about it?
We've been trying to communicate with the Department of Health and Social Care since Friday. I think I've sent 4 emails, texts, phone calls, but all we're told is that the situation is being considered. It seems as though the government has decided that there is not an issue, and that's causing other problems because it means that the local resilience fora can't invoke their contingency plans.
So what, because what is it that you want from the government?
We want essential workers, including home care workers, to have access to fuel. The gentleman that's just been speaking said somebody's going to do that by Thursday, but we need that now. We need the government to acknowledge that there are risks to the health and well-being of older and disabled people and that we need to get care to them. Other essential staff too need to go about their roles. We need fuel retailers to make it possible for key workers, including home care workers, to access fuel. So the idea of having pumps open from 6 to 7, in the past there were vouchers for essential workers like home care workers. That would be a good idea, but this needs to be nationally coordinated. We can't just leave it to local areas. So we need the government to put the needs of older and disabled people first and to enable us to keep supporting them at home.
So is this something that only central government can do? I'm just wondering if there is somebody else who can. I mean, we heard the co-op saying they'll do it on their own. But is there some other way of making it happen, or do you need central government to take action?
Well, if the fuel retailers would coordinate and make it possible for key workers to access fuel at a given time with appropriate identification and do that in a uniform fashion, we understand that it's difficult for staff working in petrol stations to make those kind of judgments. And so that is another option, and it would be very, very helpful if that could happen, for sure.
Of course, lots of people are affected by this, but I wonder if you feel a little bit hard done by, particularly after coming through the year you've come through.
It's just one thing on top of another. Last year, home care workers were left making their own masks, making their own aprons. Now we're supposed to procure fuel out of the ether, and we've been told that everyone's got to invoke their own business continuity plans. But what does the government realistically expect us to do? Advertise for lorry drivers as well as for care workers? We're facing one of the worst shortages of care workers anyone can ever remember. They are absolutely exhausted. The ones that are left are working very, very long hours because they care so much about the people they support. They don't want to let them down. This just isn't good enough. Why can't the government just help us for a change?
Jane Townson, thanks. Well, Unison